Hello, beautiful friends. This was the song of divine bliss. And divine bliss is here as we are in a new world with a new beginning. And so it's time to truly open our middle eye so that we can see the big changes that have taken place. Huge shift took place yesterday. It was as if we released a lot of what we call negativity into the field for clearing. And so I don't know how you guys felt yesterday. It was a big shift. So that was the day for the violet flame. And so today we are stepping into the new. We are stepping into the world of love, world of bliss. I always share memories from, when we were in what we call civilization of Mu, which was the love-based reality. And that reality was filled with magnetism of love. And so I speak about it through going back to these memories internally in my own being and transmitting this information. And it's not so much about information, it's so much more about the energy. So we are in a big mystery, of course, and it's nice to get together to make sense of the mystery, but also to magnify this beautiful bliss and the love. Since I was a little kid, I was getting instructions from different beings. But the instructions basically, when I look back for all these decades, they were all about love. And going through different meditation techniques and doing all the different breathing techniques and what the yogis would do, breathing through the spine and so on, I realized love is not what it seems to be. And so that's the great mystery that will be unveiled here. Love actually is a very powerful force, and it is the same force that you would feel between two magnets. So it's tangible. It's not like a romantic idea. I'm in love. Today I'm in love, tomorrow I'm not in love. And so, we had love stories and all of it, but that's not the power of love. The power of love is the power of the energy that love is. If there is energy in love, it is powerful. If love is a thought, it's not so powerful. It still is very nice, but it doesn't have the power that the energy has. So when we little kids, and I think that hopefully this was it, that people would be born into the false matrix. I think this is a new beginning, new liberation for humanity, new age, truly. And so now when we are born into this world, we come with that love. And we don't come with that love because we would say God is love, or God loves you, or Divine Mother loves you. It is so much bigger than that. We actually come from the divine reality. Now, in the past, we had the process of reincarnation. And I'm going to take this picture here for those of you who have seen it, that you know exactly what it means. So the divine reality is everything that you see here in purple. The divine reality is like the ocean that exists outside of the false matrix. And the false matrix is almost like a encapsulation of a piece of divine reality, but then made like a closed system, so like a drop of oil. And within the drop of oil is actually the false reality, but it also is obviously originally from divine reality. So it has elements of divine reality. So I would also imagine it if you took a very large body of water, like an ocean, all of the oceans together on planet Earth, and then you would take a ball, just a ball, doesn't matter what size, it would be a ball, and you would put that ball into the ocean of divine reality. And within the ball would be recycling of energy because it is a closed system. It only can be open on a very rare occasion. by very rare beings. That's how it was in the past. So you would have the ball or a balloon, and it would be in the ocean of divine reality. And within this ball would be the earth, but not only as her third dimensional body with all of humans, but also with the fourth dimension that we call astral. And then because it would be a closed system, it would not really be connected directly to divine reality, and yet it would be surrounded by it. But because it was stolen from divine reality, it also would have the elements of the divine reality. And then we would get a being like an avatar who would be able to enter this ball and not forget where they came from. And some children, as you know, started to be born from the divine reality into this false matrix. And they would be charged with divine consciousness. And, Patricia Cota-Robles speaks about them as, I think, the innocents. That means they didn't have any karma, that they didn't have burden. They didn't come as a recycled being from the astral. They didn't come through reincarnation due to karma. They didn't come because they were recycled back into the system. They came from the fresh divine reality. And so that's the difference here. That's really huge. Some beings would on purpose enter the process of reincarnation on planet Earth so that they could always be of assistance. Some beings liberated themselves within the ball, within the false matrix, and remained actually immortal, like Babaji, within this little recycling system. But everything is changing now. And so now the children will be coming from this divine reality, and they are like saints. And so we have to realize, we still have dirt in this world because we need to clean up what's left. So cleaning up every day, even if your life is amazing and you are thriving and loving it, still let's keep up the good work of cleaning up the mess. So the children that also in the past have entered here, and I would assume that that's you, there were always these different waves and different teams. And whenever this reality would open up, and we would call it portals, then teams, and they could be very small teams, like a little group of kids, really kids meaning incredible beings from divine reality, would enter together as a team. And it could be a handful of beings. I've seen very small teams and I've seen very big teams. And they've been entering, of course, for many, many decades and even centuries. They always wanted to be able to hold on to who they truly are in the divine reality. I remember entering into this reality as well. And I remember the instructions that I was receiving. And of course, we all enter as children. We had to be born into this reality, to have a physical body, so that we can then ascend through the body and liberate not only our own being, but of course, if we are on a mission of assisting, we are assisting the world to be liberated. And this mission is just so incredible because it's coming to such an incredible new beginning. So I remember when I was entering this reality, this little bubble inside of the divine reality, and the instructions that my family gave me. They gave me very interesting instructions. And so as I was leaving this cosmic, I don't want to say place, but this cosmic world that I was part of, then my family, which is much more than what we consider to be a family here, it's like everyone who shares the world with you, said to me funny things. They said, okay, this is kind of like a dangerous looking mission. So when you go in, remember, and this was very strange, and obviously I'm just sharing it as it is. They said, don't mix with humans. Don't mix with them. Don't become part of the world. Go in, but obviously, like we know the instructions that Uncle Jesus gave us, be in the world, but don't be of the world. And then they gave me another interesting instruction that I not often spoke about. They said, make sure you don't have children. No human children. Don't give birth to a child within the false matrix, because that's actually, bringing a soul into the false matrix. Now, I could share much more about it, but some of it I'm going to keep to myself, how it all worked and why I have children. Because the mystery is very big. But obviously, from, for example, the second coming of Christ, why having children would not be desirable in this in the false matrix, but only in the divine reality. And so now is the time of dissolving this false matrix. And one of the big teams on this planet, and I don't know if that's the only team, but it's definitely the most important team that I can think of, are actually the rainbow children. And the rainbow children are not only the ones who came after 1987, but also rainbow children have been reincarnating into this reality before. And so it was not like a huge collective, but now and again, we would get some rainbow children who would come from the divine reality. They called children, but, in this world, we called a child someone that came in a small body, just entered this reality, is going to grow up. But in the divine reality, we are always considered children of God. And so the rainbow children are always considered children of God. They do have rainbow light, and it's actually what defines them. Now, it is actually not a huge collective that is here on this planet, but I truly believe that everyone in this group is a rainbow child. Yes. These children, for example, they absolutely 100% have rainbow bodies, and they can see their own rainbow light often. Or they, often draw pictures of the rainbow light. They feel really drawn to the rainbows. And that's really actually important. It's an explanation to us why many of us have always felt drawn to the miracle of a rainbow, whereas for others, it's like, oh, it's just weather. It is not just weather. And, I know actually some who were born like in 1940, and I met them myself, and I can see that they have rainbow bodies. So it's not limited to the group that Patricia speaks about. But of course, we did have a huge wave of rainbow children coming here for this purpose of ascension. And what defined these rainbow children? Number one is, of course, that they contain the light of God, and that is the rainbow body. And so, some traditions, and many of you, incredibly knowledgeable about all of this, that we've had like Tibetan traditions, Buddhist traditions that were really focused on restoring this rainbow body, reactivating it through consciousness. But for these rainbow children, they would come equipped with this incredible rainbow light. Yes. You could be 75 and you could be a rainbow child. Yeah, I know specifically actually someone who's in their 80s and has actually an incredible rainbow body and all the miracles that come with it. So these rainbow children not only have the rainbow body, which is their incredible gift of light of God, that simply is their true nature. True nature. So that is our true nature, this rainbow light, this electromagnetic field. Let me see if I have a better picture. Do we have a picture of the rainbow light? We often do. Enough of the false matrix. So here we have a beautiful picture of the rainbow light. The other incredible tool or energy or gift, equipment that these rainbow children that are you bring into this world is their ability to love. And that's why speaking about love, it is not always what it seems. It is much bigger. In this world, we often talk about our heart center and our heart being obviously really important in our spirituality. Why is it? It is because our love nature, when we truly feel love, when love is a feeling, when love is beyond a thought, when love is not just an emotion, but it actually becomes our state. So then we would say, I'm in a state of love. And it's a very expanded state. Ideally, not a state that is associated, with dating someone and falling in love, but a much bigger state. A state that is unconditional, state that is present unconditionally, that simply is because I am that I am. If I am that I am, then the truth of that is that I am all love. When we connect with our divine self, and the divine self starts channeling its light through us, because our heart is so open, which is just a portal that needs to be open so that the divine self can fully come in with its light, then we start perceiving two very distinct energies moving through us. We perceive love as our state of being, and it is the openness. It's the openness of our system. Our system, all the nadis in us, all the channels, our energy system just opens up and we are all love. That means we forget the thought of the human, personality. We are in timelessness. We become so much more eternal when we are all love. And the other aspect that we start perceiving, of course, is our light nature, meaning we are illuminated, and that's the rainbow light. So the purpose of these rainbow children is to be the love and the light of God in this world. So we simply fulfill our purpose by being here now. It's a wonderful purpose to have. Be here now. And then we can do something. The doing is always lesser than being. So we could be doing a lot, but if we are out of alignment with our love nature and with our light nature, then it's a lot of effort with very little to back it up. But it's so much more powerful to be in our love nature. The love nature is truly within us as an amazing divine origin. So we cannot be something else. And of course, we can have personality layers around it, which I think maybe, it was not so easy not to collect these different layers of the personality self. But now it's the time to let them go. Be so much more light, like a feather, light, like the light of God, but also the love of God. And the love of God, not like the reason, like I need to be more loving, I should go and do something loving. That's not exactly what it is. It is so much more about being it as energy. So this energy is massive magnetism. And we have different beings on this planet. Many, many different types of beings. And we have the rainbow children, for example. They have a very different design. They all share the same design, and it is this incredible rainbow light and the incredible potential for great love. Great love. And that's the gift, and it's also the mission. Divine Mother is the magnetic energy of love. She is magnetism. And so Divine Mother is really what holds all of divine reality together. Here in this little visual that we have here, the spiral of rainbow light, it reminds me of what Divine Mother would look like in cosmos, as really what we call the spiral of cosmos, spiral of life. We have even mathematics behind it, the Fibonacci spiral, and she is spiraling out the rainbow light into creation and to create the new. And so here in this world, she was missing, and her magnetism was missing. The earth didn't anymore have the protective field of Divine Mother's love, because she was really missing in this world as we were moved away from her, and as, you know, the world was distorted, obviously. But now it's the return of the mother. And this is where the purpose will be fulfilled for all of us rainbow children, is that she will be working through our loving hearts. And so she's moving into this world through her rainbow children, through their love nature, through their ability to actually be all love. Again, I've seen different designs of people here, and some people simply, you know, have different design that is not this rainbow design, but everything is just, you know, we are all on purpose here. And so today we will dedicate this call. It will be a little bit different from the one that we did before, to our love nature. And I'm uploading all the calls. So the one that we did earlier today has a lot of information about distorted duality. And it's good to understand how distorted duality worked and why it was tricking us into this trap within which we constantly created karma and had to constantly come back because of false duality, because of desire, because of seeking satisfaction within a world of illusion. So true satisfaction is always found in the world of divine reality. And the world of divine reality has that nature of love. It simply permeates through everything in divine reality. It's the magnetic energy that holds creation together. I compared it to weather. It's the weather of divine reality. It's the temperature of divine reality. It simply is the nature of divine reality. So when we are in divine reality, beyond this distorted duality, we are in the love nature. And that's quite incredible. And we can achieve all of this, we can reach all of this in this world. Despite all that we know about this world, we can go within and connect with our greatest gift, which is our love nature, which is the sweetness of these rainbow children. If you are 80, 90, 100, we are still those rainbow children. So this is an amazing time where Divine Mother truly is moving into this world, and that's why the transformation is happening right now. Number one goal to have every day, if there is such thing, is to truly just be filled with God essence. To be filled with God essence is really the paramount state of being, and then whatever comes out of it, it's going to be great. That means just being here and being filled with God essence, and then allowing it to overflow, the joyful bubbling. And it doesn't have to be anything that is visible on the outside. It can just be internal. You know, Yogananda said he was constantly humming God, 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 because he was holding on to the divine reality while being in this false matrix. And so he wanted to have constant connection with the divine reality. And he said it would not be heard by anyone. So on the outside, you know, we might look like humans in this world, but internally, we might truly be those angels who are constantly in touch with our true self. Yogananda was a great, great avatar. And, you know, he was not the only one, but it's the one that I'm familiar with so much because I met him and he was my teacher for the longest time. And so I can say that he always held on to that pillar of light and pillar of love. And he knew how to be here and not to be of this world. And so he was constantly writing poems, he was filling up with God essence, he was singing songs, and he was chanting, he was meditating, and he saw the divine in all of nature. He was focusing on the vibration and on the light that created the original world here. The original world that we are here in was part of divine creation. So all is always created first as patterns, as design in the causal plane or in the astral plane. So, and then it is reflected down into this world. So when this world was created, it first has to be created within the causal plane. And then it is brought into this world as light. And so Yogananda, he would focus on the light that created everything. He didn't look at the world of form. He was always just focusing on the light that created it, on the vibration that created it. And so that's just one way to constantly hold on to the divine reality outside of this world, is to focus in that direction. And that direction is within us. And so filling up with God essence in bliss. And it's like a game. I like to play games like this. And that is, okay, today is a new day. Let me forget yesterday. I want to forget yesterday. Even if it was good, I want to forget it because today is a new day. It's a little bit like a kid going to playground and going into the sandbox. And you don't want to play with the castle that you built yesterday because you want to have fun today. So today you build a new castle. So I like to have this fun with you here. And that is, yes, today. What is the highest potential for today? How can I fill up with God essence today? What is going to be the trick today? And then play with it. Maybe you wake up and you're going to play some beautiful divine song. Maybe you will dance to it. Maybe you will clap to it, which actually is a wonderful way. I know some people don't like clapping, but it's an amazing way to generate energy. And it's also a wonderful way to also break through stagnant energy. And also by connecting our right and left hand, we are actually changing our electromagnetic field. And so just different ways to, play in this world. So what is it today that will make your cup run over? And again, it's just like, let's get creative. What? And I, think about it this way. When we were little, right? And we would go and play with friends, we would not be on repeat. We looked for new ways to have more fun. And this is like that too. Today is your favorite day. Absolutely. And we have to now be actually tricking the old mind of the old human who grew up in the old matrix and who is now emerging into the new matrix. The new matrix is the new web of life. New web. That absolutely. What would love do now? How can we co-create? Yeah, beautiful. So, the call before was quite different. So, again, I think it has a lot of good information. But one of the things I mentioned is that our left hand is connected to the right brain. The left hand is charged with magnetism that we call the negative magnetic pole. The right hand is charged with what we call the positive magnetic pole, and the right hand is connected to the left brain. Again, the left hand connected to the right brain. When we went through the fall, our physical body was kind of damaged. And so it was damaged in a way that we even experienced the disconnect of divine electricity between the right and left hemisphere. So if you've ever seen, for example, in neuroscience, how the brain works, the right and left hemisphere, there is like a disconnect between them in the middle, and the electricity is not running across. Now, what is electricity? Electricity is the nature of divine masculine. Electricity is the energy and quality of what we would call divine father, Shiva. Magnetism is the energy of divine mother, the divine feminine, the love nature. So together they create the electromagnetic field within creation. Electricity, divine masculine, magnetism, divine feminine. So when we went through fall, our brain centers went into complete dormancy, and the brain hemispheres were actually disconnected during the fall to be the right and left without communication between them, the way that we would want to experience oneness. So all of this is an incredible mystery, right? And we are ascending, which means also the communication between the right and left hemisphere will be restored, and for some people already has been restored. This all happens through the divine self. And so when we use the left hand and the right hand and we put them together, we are actually activating the right and left hemisphere and their communication. We are changing our electromagnetic field. There is so much to be said about our electromagnetic field. Usually when we talk here, I don't quite know what's going to come up, so sometimes it's hard to have all the visuals in the right order. But let's say that this is our rainbow body, our electromagnetic field. It is actually fundamental to who we are, not as human beings so much, but as divine beings, as divine human beings. Our heart that we are focusing on here today, our love nature, is what produces magnetism. When they say love is the key, what is the key to? What is it going to unlock? And so let's say that we activate massive amount of love within our heart, and it simply becomes our nature. It will be like a huge explosion of energy. It actually is a massive amount of energy when the heart is fully activated. I would even call it beyond the heart chakra, beyond, of course, the physical heart, but it's much more our sacred heart, our hidden heart. When the heart is activated, it emanates so much magnetism that the magnetic field around us can become so strong that it first changes electricity in the brain. So yeah, John, exactly. The heart is the big boss. When the heart is feeling massive amount of love, and that's why I say generate more, always go for more. How can you generate more love? Like a little kid looking for what will be the most fun to do next. Having fun. And we'll speak about that too. How when we are in this state of massive magnetism, which very often is not our typical way of being all the time. So we need to focus on it a little bit to really step into it and to cultivate love, as they say. And then if we manage to make a change and expand our magnetic field more and more and more, then this magnetism will actually trigger a change in our brain, because brain is much more electric. The communication between our neurons, it's actually an electricity. So brain being electric, the nervous system being electric, and our heart being magnetic, That's exactly what creates then magic. So a person who is massive love, all love, creates different brainwave, different state of perception, different way of thinking. So the heart changes the mind. The heart changes consciousness. The heart changes perception of reality. There is a treasure in all rainbow children, and that treasure is the heart. And if they can be liberated, yeah, it is what really heart math speaks about, but that's just so profound. It's mystical knowledge. The Institute of Heart Math, it was created by mystics, and it actually seems scientific, and it is. It is absolutely scientific, but it is deeply, deeply mystical. Liberation is when a person is actually living from the heart, because something happens. It is the liberation from the third dimensional person who was living from the first, second, and the third chakra. So that's pretty amazing. And so how do we every day generate love? That is the key. How do we fill up with God essence? I find meditation incredibly, incredibly helpful. And so how do we meditate? There are so many different types of meditation, and some are really effective, some not so much. They just nice. So how do we go for what's really effective? This is what I found. I found that if I approach meditation with excitement and with really looking forward to it, I'm excited, I can't wait to meditate, because I know that that's my opportunity to have contact with my own divine self, which is the most incredible thing we can, of course, do. And then all that unfolds from that. So if it's a chore, if it's a must, then that's not fun. We do have to go with what's fun. And that is what will expand our heart more. But in meditation, if we find a technique that we love, for example, I love, the brain waves that I shared before. I love meditating with Oren. So I'm just going to take these examples. Let's say we love meditating with Oren. Or let's say we love doing invocations with Patricia. How do we then maximize our effort? So number one, having the excitement, having the joy, which of course is the expansion of our magnetic field. And so when we approach, for example, let's take Patricia, right? Let's take Patricia's video. So we get excited. It's like, oh my gosh, I'll get to do some divine work right now. So I want to sit down. I want to use my body, not only the mind, but I want to use the body to be the tool for this ascension. So you sit down, and we all know by now the spine is our highway to the divine self. The spine with those incredible channels within it, central channel, is how life force and light moves down, but also how it moves up. And so it would be beneficial, if we want to put ourselves into the right posture, which simply will give us a better result. So we get excited, we sit down, we are smiling, because of course when we smile, it changes even our feeling nature, and it changes even our biochemistry. And we have all the great molecules blessing this body with good vibration. And so all the great neurotransmitters in our brain, and then it's just flooding us with goodness. So we smile, we get excited, we put on Patricia, and we want to actually close our eyes. Even though we make a lot of videos with Patricia, for Patricia, that have visuals, they're wonderful visuals, and we can be inspired by them. but there's also the time for closing the eyes that allow us to activate the third eye, the middle eye, really the eye that allows us to see divine reality if we, practice enough. And so closing the eye and then closing the eyes and then gazing into the third eye, having the heart wide open in love to be in service, to be connecting with divine reality, to be here an instrument of God. And then to actually visualize. Visualizing is very important because it's engaging our divine mind. Our usual human mind is the thinking mind, but the visualizing mind is the mind of the divine self. And so if we can visualize and see or feel the imagery and then accompany that with an expanding feeling of excited love. So we want to generate imagery which then makes us feel even more excited, more in love, more in joy. And that is really a really effective way of, for example, how to work with Patricia's videos. And so let us go to one of Patricia's videos, which is one of the recent ones. And we will be together connecting with this, which is the expanded magnetism in the heart. And I'm just going to play the audio so that we don't have to watch any visuals. And then, of course, we want to connect the breath. We want to be breathing slowly and deeply, expand in the state of bliss, and then tapping into the collective power of this. Visualizing, how many are we here tonight? 318 people right now. Visualizing together the same thing in our own unique way while listening to Patricia's instructions. And so I'm going to play this one, and it's going to be about 15 minutes, and then we will close with that. And so let us go within, focusing on the third eye if you can, straight spine if you can, big smile if you can, smiling. And if you lose sound, which has happened before to some people when we share, I don't know if it's like an update on Zoom, that people have to update their Zoom, then just click on the screen that I'm sharing and it should bring the sound back on. But if you cannot get the sound, then here is a link to the video that we will be listening to. And so I'm closing my eyes, going within, so I will not be looking at the chat so that we can focus fully. And again, it's the key is, of course, also complete attention, complete focus. So here.
Now, the company of heaven has given us an activity of light that will enhance our ability to consciously communicate with our I Am presence. If you have the heart call to do so, please join with me and lightworkers around the world who have selflessly volunteered to be the hands of God on earth to assist our beloved sisters and brothers who are striving to awaken and to hear the inner guidance of their I Am presence. And we begin. I am expanding the matrix for communicating with my I Am presence. I am one with the I Am presence of every man, woman, and child on earth. But I invoke for myself this sacred and holy day. I invoke on behalf of every person in perfect alignment with each one's divine plan and the highest good for all concerned. On the holy breath, all of humanity's I Am presences now merge into one luminous being of light, that is cradling Mother Earth and all life evolving upon her within the divinity of our unified heart flames. I take another deep conscious breath, and instantly I realize that humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth are all breathing in unison with me. We are one conscious holy breath. As I breathe in and out deeply, the integration of my I Am presence is being amplified within me. Every electron, every atom, every subatomic particle and wave of my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies, and all of the spaces in between the atoms and molecules in my bodies, are joyously receiving and assimilating this new multidimensional and multifaceted divine light from my I Am presence. As I assimilate this gift of divine light, I begin to comprehend a new level of truth about me. I am powerful beyond my knowing, and I have everything I need to accomplish my divine mission, which is pulsating within my heart flame. I came to contribute to the ascension of this sweet earth. I came to love humanity and all life free, and I clearly know that my time is now. I am part of God, and the divine potential of my Father, Mother, God abides in me. In the heart and mind of God, every single person is valuable and critically important to the balance and order of the universe. With a new level of understanding, I now accept that all that I am called to do is necessary, and I will respond with enthusiasm and happiness. I am always embraced in my Father, Mother, God's love. Never again will there be a sense of futility in my life. I am overflowing with gratitude for the opportunity to be on earth at this time. I am so thankful to be where I am right now, serving all life who come my way with love, compassion, cosmic forgiveness, and joy. Now, with the amplified integration of my I Am presence, I am able to hear my intuitive inner guidance and to communicate with my I Am presence in new ways. I realize that with the divine intervention of my I Am presence, I clearly have the ability to liberate my Father, Mother, God's light in every physical and chemical interaction within my earthly bodies. This light is now healing and recalibrating all of the energy bonds within atoms and between atoms to the vibrational frequency of God's infinite physical perfection. My Father, Mother God's eternal light pulsates with a divine wisdom that contains everything necessary to set straight the orbit, spin, and electronic charge of every atomic and subatomic particle and wave of life on Earth. All of the energy bonds within the atomic realm are now being accelerated in vibration toward the frequency of New Earth's fifth dimensional crystalline solar light. Through the luminous being of light formed by humanity's unified I Am presences, every person on Earth is now receiving and assimilating the divine wisdom and sacred knowledge encoded within their individual I Am presence and their activated 12 fifth dimensional crystalline solar strands of DNA. As this occurs, every person's I Am presence liberates the heart-based patterns encoded within the divine wisdom and sacred knowledge in our fifth dimensional DNA. As these heart-based patterns flow into the mental and emotional strata of Earth, they penetrate into every interaction within humanity and all of the energy bonds therein. These interactions include the relationships of all people, all organizations, all races, all religions, and all nations. All of these interactions are now being liberated into the harmony of a higher order of being, thus greatly expanding the influence of humanity's I Am presences on Earth. Now, through my fully integrated I Am presence and my fifth dimensional DNA, I am able to clearly receive the divine promptings, ideas, and concepts from my Father, Mother God. I now know through all levels of consciousness that I am a living, light-filled temple of invincible perfection, expressing my true state of enlightened consciousness with every thought, feeling, word, and action I express. I am a being of light, now reflecting God's comprehensive divine love, oneness, unity, reverence for all life, vibrant health, infinite abundance, eternal peace, illumined truth, and abounding joy. I am here and now, my I Am presence tangibly manifesting on Earth. As this profound truth resonates in my heart and mind, my physical reality is being transfigured into the love-based patterns of perfection associated with the fifth dimensional crystalline solar New Earth. And so it is. beloved Father, Mother, God, all that is, I am. I now gently return my consciousness to the room.
And so it is. And so I saw us all around the world visualizing together. And the power of imagination is the power of creation. When we are heart-centered and when we are opening our amazing divine mind of God. And so with that, we liberate the light of our Father, Mother, God in all these, as Patricia said, physical and chemical energy bonds. That means we are bringing spirit into matter. When we bring spirit, spirit is the divine self. We bring spirit into matter, which means we spiritualize matter, which means we liberate the world of form. This is so huge. This is our liberation from illusion. Patricia also said that we are setting straight the orbit, spin, and the electronic charge of every atomic and subatomic particle on Earth, which is what matter is made of. So we are liberating matter back into spirit. Also, what I found so fascinating, is that it is our 12 strands of DNA and the light contained in our fifth dimensional DNA that now flows into the earth, the ethers of the earth. As you know, since we've had our huge DNA activation in July, when we became the walking fields of solutions, that light is now simply walking here with us, through us, and that is bringing liberation to all life. Isn't this magnificent? And that is our purpose for being here.